Morning. It is wonderfully miserable here today. However, we're not going to let it dampen the spirits because the man, the myth, the legend that is Mr. Peter Coburn is coming back from Ireland to finish setting up the Tow and Fert this morning. It's kind of a shame that it isn't nice weather because if it was, we could run the Tow and Fert out on some grass. We'd have to set up the nozzles and stuff like that. It would be nice to have gone and give it a little bit of run up and down the field, but it ain't gonna happen today. Gonna take the 6410 off the shredder and we're gonna use this machine to get it up and running on. You can see here we've put a 3/4 dump back in on here so we can run the Tow and Fert on here. So we've got the 3/4 which goes to there, and then we've got an adapter down from 3/4 to 1/2 inch, which is your standard sort of spool socket like this. If we want to use 3/4, we just take that one out of there. If we want to use 1/2 inch, we just put this whole adapter back in and we can go straight down to 1/2 inch. Now the main reason why we've put that 3/4 dump on here as opposed to putting it on the 6.6 is because the 125's already got a 3/4 dump, that's fine. The 6.6, however, we kind of felt if the 125 is busy, which is probably what I'll do most of the Tow and Ferting on, the 6.6 is probably busy too. So it kind of makes sense that this would be spare because it generally is, it's like the extra tractor. Obviously at the minute, hedge cutter is still on the 125. Hopefully it won't be too big of a deal just taking this off. I quite like the shredder for that. It's simple, it's easy to take off. It's not a major problem. All we have to do is turn, no, that can stop on, just turn that. This is unplugged. Oh dear. I hate when you have to do this. I need to adjust the arms. Oh! Once you won't lift all the way, you just have to get up on the seat and use the buttons in the back. Why are you not doing it? I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get out and have a look. Okay, I think she might just be a touch low on oil. Let's go and put a bit of extra in and then hope that she's got enough to drive the Tow and Fert. That's actually a major concern. I probably should have thought about that before we put the extra big 3/4 socket thing in. She'll be all right, she'll be fine. Why am I doubting myself? She'll be all right, she's a pocket rocket. Oh, and as if by magic, the international man of mystery, Peter Coburn, has arrived. I was having trouble getting the hitch off this morning, but I reckon that's so worn, look, that it's sitting too low. Yeah. The mechanic said to me sometimes you have to put a string of weld across the back to lift to get them to sit high enough to latch. 3/4 on there, just for you. Tidy job. Don't say we never do anything for you. She's a beast. This is the best tractor we've got. It's my favourite tractor. Just simple. You can fix it with a sledgehammer.
Is the genuine one in there?
No, but there's one in the tractor across the road. I'll go and get it. Here we go. Oh, you found it. I'm gonna have to make a nice little bracket for this box, I think. That one goes to the outside. That's a fancy plug. Look at that. That's a weird plug. It's got like a... Huh. Mad for on and off. Oddly, I hadn't noticed this bracket until you've just took the stuff off it, because obviously everything was hung on it.
Oh yeah, just to guide them in.
Just just to keep them tidy. I hadn't noticed it.
Actually, does it? Oh, you're okay. It clears the.
Yeah, it clears the arms by probably getting on a foot by the time I swung around.
Some of them are different.
I remember someone said to me when I went shearing, they were like, "Oh, the trouble is if you swap tractors, you end up with different length arms if you've got different types of tractors." And I was like, "No, you don't." Until we went to put that rake on last year. I'm here. And the PTO shaft was too short because the arms are shorter. Yep. And I was like, I never knew. I would have always thought they're just standard.
So you have to keep these salesmen in some sort of...
Oh yeah, you know what they're like, these salesmen.
Yeah.
Do they make these up in New Zealand and just send them as a,
Yeah, this is like a kit.
Yeah, yeah. This is a great tip. A guy used to deliver berry stock and he used to go on a fast track. So they got a fast track and they got a Unimog on the fast track. They put tennis balls in there.
Keep the dirt out.
Yeah, and just keep except from catching all of his hoses and it's like genius. Pipe on this one goes all the way round.
Yeah.
Well, it does on the other one, doesn't it? But I suppose it's just
on your 1000 and the 500, it's tidier. It just goes
yeah.
It's just the way.
I guess most of the time when you're like pulling off, we want to do some rainwater harvesting, so you just leave it at the tank, wouldn't you, or here.
Or just get another one made up. So if you're going to be filling from two places,
oh, you just got a spare.
Have one here and have one
there. Yeah.
And then
Yeah, and I guess you only just take it with you if you're going to go,
If you're
like
going-
when we're going away from home and you're doing something over there and you want to fill up again.
yeah, you just feed it through there again.
Yeah. Want the filter? We want the filter. Look at that. Lovely.
Open it up.
Oh. See, I'm not used to this. I'm not a dairy farmer.
Yeah.
There we go. That end in there. Go down there, then go. That's it. That end goes. So what's?
So have your when you're like we have the pump primed. So
Right.
have your handle closed. So your
That one closed.
that
yeah.
one closed. So then we're going to suck from this side. So we'll take
Right.
off.
So this is fill.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And that's out.
that's your prime.
Yeah. But if you wanted to pump out volume washer or whatever.
Yeah.
Out of there.
Out of there.
So in out. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be alright. I'll get used to it.
You'll figure it. Your first couple of runs with it, you'll be sorted.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's a bit like that with the 1000. Like even though that demo machine, you know the stickers, like you can't read
Oh,
them very
yeah.
well. Even then, I was like, the first time you could just about make it out, but then it's come back now. I just like, oh yeah, I know which ones
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. Suction hose on. We'll close with our tap close going to the spray line.
That's that one, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The bottom one. So you're leaving
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
spray
Spray.
boom. Agitation open, so we're dumping straight
in.
straight into the tank. So just put your hydraulics going out, and
Yeah. And
start
we'll
filling.
hope that we're right.
Say if you had been out spreading already and you had maybe like 100 litres left in it and
Yeah,
you're sucking
yeah.
out of here, and it's just to speed her up, filling that pipe, just open this a little bit and just pull through. So obviously, the top one is where your main agitation is, and then underneath that then there's a small one, so that's your return then that goes to the spray boom when you're
what's not being used
Yeah.
coming back in.
and then obviously then we're sucking out of the very bottom of the tank. It's when you find out what weight you are.
Look at that. Flying. Yeah, what's in there?
Oh, our power's gone off.
Oh yeah, of course, so the tractor off.
Yep.
400 litres according to that.
Yep.
In
We'll be all right.
like a minute max.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you're
Because
fine.
it's no bigger pump than on the 1000.
Exactly the same.
It's not. Is it driving faster because it's
Nope.
hydraulic? It's just.
Nope.
It's just exactly
Exactly
the same.
the same. Like,
Is
it's
it
the
still the
same-
same pump on a 4000?
500, 1000, 1200, 2800, 4000, exact same pump. The only difference in the machines is the
Just
size of the tank.
tank.
Booms are like on all of your, from the 1000 up, principle is exactly
Exactly
the
the
same on
same.
the booms. The 500 you just have the one nozzle, so
Yeah.
it's different. But
Do you sell many with a single nozzle? Because you can get this one with a single, can't you?
there's one back in Ireland that came in when we got ours first back in 2017. There might be a couple over here, but most of them all come in twin booms.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I forgot his name. Is it Will Armitage?
Yeah,
He's got a single nozzle, but his is an old. His is like one of the
it's probably
OG ones.
Yeah, he has the impeller inside the
Oh,
tank.
his is the old
Yeah.
tank style.
Like this week, a customer in North Wales, he's upgraded to a 4000, and he has one of those the old style 1200. That's
With
he's
the
moving up
with
from.
the impeller.
Yeah, and on the old 1200s, there was a hydraulic motor that went onto the impeller, and then you had two belts came down and went onto the pump.
Yeah.
So when you had, say, if you had 250 or 300 litres left in the tank, your impeller, your water level on the impeller was like halfway, so we'd froth it a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what we've done with a couple of machines back home is we've put a hydraulic motor the same as on this onto the pump. So we have a separate one for the impeller and a separate one from the pump. So we just have the impeller one going when we're mixing and agitating.
Oh yeah, and then
And
you
we can turn it off when we're in the field, and then we just have our ordinary one on the pump.
Oh yeah, it stops for frothing.
Yeah. So you
So-
turn it into a new machine then. And
Yeah,
it's
pretty
nearly better than these, because especially if you're putting on a lot of lime and you have the impeller, you can have that extra bit of agitation to keep things moving.
To keep it moving whilst, yeah, because that's not going to froth up either.
No.
So yeah.
No, so that's what's going to happen to that machine. Put a pump on it, and that's going up. It's going up to a farm up in Cumbria. That's been doing foliar already with his ordinary. He has about 3 or 4 IBCs mixing down with pumps, mixing, and then sucking out of that into his ordinary crop sprayer.
Yeah, and then
block
going.
nozzles, trying to get his humates.
Well, that's the
dissolved.
trouble. That's the trouble, and this is what I keep trying to explain to you people on YouTube, is that it's all right mixing it and putting it through a normal sprayer, but you're just going to have
time.
trouble
It's
and
time.
time and yeah.
Because like the whole thing.
And
of
you can't put
foliar-
the seeds in, and you can't put the like the thicker stuff, the lime in it, the
Like lots
molasses,
of it, and your fish hydraulis, all that kind of stuff.
sticky, yeah,
Just
thick,
yeah.
gloopy
Especially
stuff.
like because you're going to get impurities in, whether it be in your nitrogen, in your urea or AN or CAN or even your fish. So like any of those impurities, if they get to your main filter and get to a nozzle, then you're
Is stuffed. Yeah. Yeah.
and you're trying to get those all unblocked. So
Yeah.
like the whole thing.
And then when you got it folded up, it blocks the ends of your pipes and then on your booms.
Yep.
It's bad enough, like, to be fair, when we used crop spraying, when we used to have arable, they were always blocked, those ends.
Yeah.
You always have to take the caps
And
off.
even like if even with a bit of algae or something or that gets
Yeah,
in the water.
Yeah,
So
they're not built for that.
The whole thing of foliar, like Tow and Fert didn't develop foliar feeding.
No, no.
It's been around for
They made the
centuries.
tool to do it.
They made this that you can do all your mixing, agitating, spraying in the one machine.
Yeah,
Instead of going from IBC, submersible pumps, crop sprayers, you're pumping it over and back. And
yeah,
over and back.
yeah.
And it's the
Just cuts
speed
the
then
time
that
out.
you dissolve or melt down your urea in the machine. Like it's a couple of minutes. Whereas if you're doing an IBCs and if you don't have enough agitation, it could be hours that you use it. And
Yeah,
then if you're
yeah.
using really cold water, it's going to be even longer.
Yeah, that's the thing,
So like
isn't
I
it?
say, if we were going to melt some urea in this now, with that water being as cold as what it is, this will all like all your
It's
stainless.
just
it's all going fast
unbelievable
up.
how cold it is, yeah.
And it's just part of the process. But she's designed to do it.
Yeah. And
Whereas-
the agitation will, because it's so violent,
Yeah.
it will just
Yeah.
do it. Whereas if you got like a submersible pump, it's like a fish
Going round
pond.
and round. It's going round.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just not
Yeah.
going to do it.
And then like they're cast and just they don't like the cold that much.
No.
And just crack. Whenever you have say like you have been filling out of here, if you had 700 or 800 litres of water and you take off here, you might just get a bit of it siphoning back out. So I just close that,
All right, yeah.
take off your pipes.
And it just holds it in.
Yeah.
Look at that.
On your grassland, James, you'll be on probably your B30s.
Yeah.
Or your B20s, but mostly, I suppose it all depends on how many hectares you want and what rate you're going at.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you want to get in the tank. So like your B30 does 30 litres a minute.
Okay.
B20,
Oh, is that
20
what
litres a minute.
that's what that means?
Yep.
I never knew that.
And then a P40 then does 40 litres. So
Do they have bigger, the hole? So it's just the hole's, obviously
Just
the
the hole.
actual, this bit's bigger, but is
Yeah.
the hole actually bigger as well?
yeah, so it's just flow that's going through it.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously 30 litres a minute, 20 litres a minute.
Ideal.
Then you go to 50, 60, 70.
Why would we want to go to the 40? What would be the benefit?
Probably if you were doing lime,
Just to get that
just
volume.
get it out.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
so you have less time. I suppose it's more of a safe. Well, not. Just get it out of the tank quicker. You're not going to. You have less chance of it going
Bunging and settling, yeah.
So, there's no real set way to like. There's no markers to put them in.
Yeah.
Because say if you're doing a mix with just urea and water and humates, it'll have a certain density.
Right, yeah.
And so that droplet then will have a density and a weight and it'll travel so far. If you put lime then into that mix,
It'll go further because it's heavier.
heavier, bigger droplet, travels further.
So that's why you're tweaking it. Or
why you
yeah,
tweak
just
it.
tweak it.
But normally, like once you
I guess
decide-
you can kind of go off a bit
Yeah.
off the back of this flat bit.
we kind of
You can
we
kind of like,
line this up with that one, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
and then when we put a go, and then we can shut off one side and then just tweak then where
Yeah,
where
yeah,
we have
I
it
see,
landed
yeah.
then. That's why we didn't cable tie those.
That makes a lot of sense. What's the verdict? She's got no oil in her.
No, you have oil.
What do you normally have it at?
I need to be up to 35.
Got it pumping now, look at that. Water flowing. See it bubbling in the tank. Look at that. Woo. That's what gets your urea dissolved.
If you want to change it then to spray,
Yeah,
that's
I hope they're closed.
close.
It might get wet.
We'll soon find out.
Oh, you can see it coming up. Going up there,
It's cold for
and
you.
then coming around here. That's on the flow and return.
Yeah.
And then does it come back, returns back, dumps it back in the tank here, does
Yeah.
it?
So when you're spraying, this is closed.
Yeah.
In that little butterfly flap, there's a hole in that. So that's what creates the pressure in it.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it off, it's open, and then the pressure in the line drops, and then your spring then is able to put back in
Engaged,
on
and
your
that
dial.
turns that off, yeah.
So it's like when you're doing lime where you suck or gypsum that you need to keep in suspension.
Yeah.
That's why the booms are the way they are. So you're stuck, part of it constantly moving.
Yeah. Gypsum. I hadn't thought about gypsum.
Yeah,
Just put gypsum
like
to it.
They're like just to kind of grease your plate particles.
Yeah.
They're not so tightly bound.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's worse than lime.
I imagine it probably is, yeah. But you're not far from British gypsum.
Yeah.
Might have to go, we've got some heavy clay, could probably do with a bit of gypsum on it.
Yeah. So you need to be on 20. when she sets the spray like that.
So it's 20. Oh, it is about 20. Yeah.
So bang on 20.
Yeah.
So when you flick your switch in the cab to start her to spray, she'll go up to maybe 26, 27. Yes.
All right. Yeah, and that's just enough to open the spring.
Yeah. So if you jump up and you want to flick the switch there,
we'll see what happens.
And then we just might need to adjust the springs on the diaphragm if they're just getting the
on and off. Right, yeah,
just put a bit more tension on.
Yeah, fair enough. Moment of truth. Let's flicker on. Whoa! Hey, look at that. Oh. Probably just staying on a little bit.
So it's only like a case of just putting a couple of turns on it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I guess it doesn't take much to make the difference. Take 2. On. And off. Attempt number 3. On. Off. One's right, one's wrong. He's the man who can. And again. Pump it up. Turn her on. On. Both. Off. On. And off. On. And off. Look at that. Beautiful. Just checking the nozzles now. Peter's going to make sure that they're spraying right.
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, so your fire nozzle wants to be landed on the inside of the opposite wheel of the
so it's about right, I guess. To see it on there on the concrete.
Yeah, we're landing there. There's a bit of a wind coming, so we're not too far on.
So turn that one off, and turn that one on, and hopefully. Whoa! You.
Did I get you?
Yeah, just about. That's spraying a bit further, I think. That's coming more over. It's more here.
Change your nozzle then. It's over. I think it's the smallest little bit of.
Yeah, just a turn. Yeah, I'd say that's probably better, yeah.
Alright?
Yeah. You can have a hell of a party with that in the summer, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what they all do in Ireland?
Yeah.
On that one summer's day that you get.
One summer's day.
Now you can see we're turning both of them on, and hopefully they'll overlap a little in the middle.
Windy first one.
It is a little windy. I think
you wouldn't be out spraying on a day like today.
Be alright. You can do the neighbours while you're at it.
Yeah.
You can see now the wind's dropped. It's about.
Yeah, you'll come over there.
You're about there.
You're pretty right.
So I just took the 6410 off and taking that back, but Peter's got a 1000 on the trailer that is, well, it's a bit different. It's super interesting. He's going to just show us around it now. Yeah. These spoons look interesting. Is that for the horticulture?
They're your horticultural booms.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you're putting them in.
So obviously you have the same attachment that your nozzle assembly. It's on your machine.
Yeah.
It's just inside in the tank, and then they just click on in here on the end. On the end of this.
Oh, so that's just like, it's got its own little. So it has two separate sets of booms.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it's just a case of just disconnecting here,
attaching whichever you.
And then these lads will swing out, and then these are all adjustable, so I can adjust all the angle. So
wow.
They're normally used, like most of these are either in New Zealand or in Australia, under kiwis,
vineyards and stuff.
Vineyards, macadamia plantations in Australia.
Oh right,
so
they
used to do trickle irrigation and put the fertilizer down the irrigation, put all little nozzles on each of the plants. You would get the same when you're doing foliar with an ordinary crop sprayer. The nozzles were getting blocked, so some trees were getting it and then they weren't. So now they just run ordinary water through for irrigation, and they have they have a Tow and Fert then with their horticultural booms, and then just irrigating the plants, so they know exactly what the plants are getting. They're guaranteed that they're getting it.
So
instead of going out and have to check the irrigation in the plantations the whole time,
it doesn't matter because it's just water. It's not going to block up. Yeah,
it's just water. But this one's going to a farmer in Norfolk growing black currants, and they're doing trials on regen, trying to reduce, I suppose, their carbon footprint for Ribena.
Oh.
So
because we're on a contract, and it's like most contracts, just trying to cut.
So using. They're making up their own compost, and then they're going to do compost teas and extracts, and then put that extract into the Tow and Fert and blow it on.
I see,
so we're either going to apply it as a foliar, or what they're going to do in a soil upright and putting it down along the base of the rows of the plants.
All right, yeah, straight into the roots. So only those spoons only go on the little ones. You don't use the spoons on the big one.
You can do when we did a bit of a trial for them last year. We had this elbow, like our usual attachment on the end.
Yeah.
Where the nozzle will go in, we just put in this elbow, so we were actually like washing it onto the blowing it straight onto the plants.
Yeah.
So we're able to like that machine. She is exactly the width of the rows between each row of the black currants.
Ideal.
So she's traveling down, and the booms are just over the plants.
Right. Yeah.
So we
yeah,
just had
yeah.
them angled out, pointing
straight
down,
on.
and sprayed onto them.
Oh, nice. And this one's hydraulic.
Yeah.
So this is the same as the demo one, but this is hydraulic and not on an engine.
Correct.
So it's
Yeah. So yeah, they have on their little compact tractor that's exactly the width of the road.
Yeah.
And away we go. Different clock than what's on the original
you got
ones.
yeah, fancier clock than ours.
Bit more fancier. But then you can get the rate assist, so you have a screen like that in the cab with you as well, and then a control box that'll open and close, and you can put into the clock area that you want to cover with that load, the nozzle that you have in, and it'll give you a recommended speed to travel at.
Oh, right,
and
yeah.
Just a dial.
So it's like the app, but on the screen rather than on the phone.
So it's live. So like this, there's a GPS on here that's relaying back to the control box in the cab, and then
I see. Yeah.
so it's relaying back the weight that's on here. Speed, it's measuring the speed you're traveling at.
Yeah.
And then you have just like a gauge that's in your green or red if you're driving too fast or too slow, and where's your sweet spot to drive it. It's exactly the same as your one, just we have a hydraulic
pump and not
instead of the engine. Pipework is a little bit different. Better labelling than the other one.
Yeah, these are amazing.
Yes.
I love these. Brilliant.
You have your same like in your you have 20s, 30s, 40s.
And if you stop for your lunch and you forgot your spoon for your yogurt, you can just
I suppose
you could just take that out.
as long as you don't mind
just wash it in the brook. Don't wash it in the brook. That's not a good idea. You'll get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love this is a beast of a machine. I like this little machine.
You just need a one that's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, the Tow and Fert guys are listening. Do like a 1500 with a big tank. You don't have to be taller.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
Keep
job
everything
done?
else the same.
Yeah, be awesome.